I'm very upset. Started with a comment, and then it was deleted. Offering help, gone.
Oh, let me look for that comment, and then it was deleted. And I was like, well, that's odd. That was a red flag for me.
All the ones with physical help, deleted.
CPS people were like, hey, where are you at? We can go get you.
The end goal is to really help you guys out of the situation you're in.
Police officer offered to pick her up. She deleted that. But if it wasn't money, she probably didn't want it. Something's off.
I mean, you could switch your camera on and off, right? How does that work?
No 14-year-old girl size shoes unless you're big. And her hands are big. The feet, the sandals are not adding up to her hand. No, that's not your house. You're using somebody's story.
Not your house, not your story.
It says her dad passed away.
But in the comments, it's my parents.
That's when she blocked me.
Blocked, deleted. Her GoFundMe was
20 grand.
then 35, then 45. And somehow, still not enough.
But they want money, money, money.
Not help, not supplies.
Thank God for greediness, because it's a scam.
It's been a little bit over a month since I filmed a video that you haven't seen yet. It was a video I filmed because I wanted to help someone, an Alyssa. I wrote to Alyssa. She never wrote back, which is fine, but I watched and I learned and I consumed her content. And throughout this period, there were red flags about a person that I wanted to help. Logically, I addressed those red flags. I had calls, interviews, back and forth emails with GoFundMe. I even spoke to Mia.
Hi, how are you?
Mia, like Alyssa and many others, was also showcasing her very difficult living conditions in the hopes that people would donate, try to help out financially. I wanted to help someone get out of a bad situation. All right, I thought maybe with your help even. But I can't with good conscience get you involved into something if I have a 1% doubt that your money might not be going where you think it's going. Like 99%, they're honest. 1%, there's a doubt. I dug very, very deep. First, with Alyssa. Nobody wants to live like this. This is a house, a state nobody wants to live in. It's like a nightmare. This nightmare is what Alyssa wakes up to every day. It's where she cooks, where she brushes her teeth, where she goes to bed. You're watching a girl showing us a house she lives in with her pets in conditions we can't imagine. Sympathy takes over right away. I want to help her. And I'm sure you feel like you want to get her out of the situation as well, right? And here's the thing though. The closer I came to help, the more questions I got, and the stranger this entire thing became. Naturally, I started digging, but I was not alone. Meet Vivian, the detective on this case, an internet sleuth. And nothing pisses her off more than seeing people tug at your sympathy, your kindness for money.
It started with going through TikTok and she comes up and I was like, oh my God, babe, look, should I just donate something to her? But the link wasn't working on GoFundMe at first. So I was like, maybe I'm doing it wrong. So then I started reading the comments because, like maybe her cash app is somewhere. And then I saw where somebody put, hey, the cleaning lady is reaching out to you. And I was like, oh, let me look for that comment. And then it was deleted. And I was like, well, that's odd because she replied to, oh, shoot, let me see what's going on. That was a red flag for me.
And she's been dissecting Alyssa's story frame by frame. She's been matching accounts, tracing payments, even analyzing the floors. And some things are just not adding up. This story starts to shift from sympathy to suspicion. So let's walk through Alyssa's story, the way she tells it, and see what happens when the details don't line up. Regardless of whether she's being truthful or not, I hope she gets the help she needs. But Alyssa says she lives in a biohazard. Pests, mold, rotting food, unsanitary bathrooms, you name it, it's there. It's an absolute abomination of a habitat. Her father had unfortunately passed away from lung cancer, according to her GoFundMe page, and her mom allegedly splurges on Fendi, on Chanel, finer things in life. Just move out. She can't. Alyssa says she's a minor. Yet she is expected to pay rent and the bills, according to her GoFundMe page. Called CPS, Child Protective Service, she did. They're useless. They just brush her off. Apparently, you're good. You're alive? Great. You have food and water? Fantastic. It's bleak. So what's she supposed to GoFundMe? She frames that as her means to survival for her, her brother, and the pets that also live in this diabolical situation with them, often shown on the TikToks she posted. It's a way out of this nightmare home. And at first sight, it all makes sense. It ignites in you and I that feeling, the feeling of wanting to step up and help her come out of her terrible situation. We want to help. Even when Clean with Bea, a popular figure, I think you guys have seen her before. She literally dedicated an entire career helping clean the filthiest homes for free. She commented, she reached out, she wanted to help Alyssa. Mysteriously, though, those comments disappeared, deleted, gone. People caught on. They started asking, what are you doing with Clean with Bea's comments? Clean with Bea was persistent. She kept commenting. To no avail, her comments kept disappearing.
CPS workers did comment, and she was deleting it. And on her Instagram, a police officer's wife, like, we're from the same town. My husband said, you can go help you, can get you out, we'll pick you up. She deleted that.
So yes, we all want to help. You want to help, I want to help. But the only kind of help that she seems to be accepting is financial. That's exactly what people did. And she got $45,000 in donations, a goal she's already reached twice before. Her first goal was 20 grand. Her second goal was 35,000. Now her third and probably not last goal, $45,000. It raises an eyebrow. A question: is this an investment fund or an emergency fund? Are you raising money to alleviate the terrible situation you live in? If so, why are we still there? Can a minor even have a GoFundMe? Can they sign a lease? There's so many questions that raise suspicions, and they're questions that donors are valid in asking. Why do we keep moving the goalposts? She justifies it. She says she's living in LA. It's a very expensive city. It's not looking good. Again, if this is all true and legit, I really hope she gets the help she needs to get out of this disastrous situation. People are naturally trusting. It's so much easier for us to believe that you're in a bad situation, you need help, than it is for us to start to distrust you, okay? There are holes in the story that result in that distrust. Here's where Vivian raised an eyebrow. So the GoFundMe, it's not in Alyssa's name. It's run by a guy called Chris Perez. Alyssa's a minor, so it makes sense to have an adult running this thing, right? But Chris Perez happens.
And Chris Perez turned out to be like a pest control.
Chris Perez is just the start. Whether it's free cleaning, pest control, CPS, those comments deleted, which begs the question, if the living conditions were the problem, and people are offering to help alleviate those problems, why are we erasing those offerings? Maybe it was something else we wanted all along. But then there's the inconsistencies, how the story itself starts to shift. One moment, Alyssa says her mom won't let her get a job. The next, she's on GoFundMe saying she pays half the rent. So which is it? Both of those things pull at your heartstrings, all right? Both of those things harvest sympathy from you, but in completely contradicting ways. She's garnering the sympathy by framing a narrative that is peak abandonment. Probably the worst place anybody can be, because it's that emotional aspect that allows people to become vulnerable to getting scammed. Even her cleaning stories shift. Once she says she's always cleaning, then she says she can't clean at all. Once she has bought things with the money people had sent her, the next she's still waiting for the money to land in her account. So which is it? The inconsistencies stack up. It's only natural for people to raise an eyebrow. Then there's the hospital clip. Alyssa says her mom broke her leg. She needed surgery. There's footage of a hospital visit, but Vivian notices the floor. The same floorboards we've already seen all through the house.
That story where her mom broke her leg and she's old and fragile, doesn't fit the GoFundMe, where her mom splurges going out and buying Gucci and Prada and all that. That's not her GoFundMe. You post a picture of your mom in the hospital or something. I can post one of her in the ambulance, but I'm gonna cover her face. I said, great, Google search is a thing. Didn't even post that. That's when she blocked me. When I took a screenshot of a few days later, and she posted the one of her palm and her knee strapped, is what she said, old, fragile with diabetes. My stepmom is like 60 something, fits a body figure the lady in the wheelchair is, had surgery on her knee a few weeks ago, almost a month ago, and still it's unbraced. And you're gonna tell me your mom was old, fragile with diabetes, only has that wraparound thing? I used to be a provider, so that bed, they give them to patients. They send them home. How are you gonna go visit your mom in the hospital barefoot? Because she's in socks in that picture. And that's not no hospital floor. That's the bed they send you home in.
The puzzle doesn't end there. The identity itself of Alyssa. So she doesn't show her face, it's always voiceovers, but there's little signs that Vivian had caught on that don't seem to add up to the person that Alyssa might be, okay? That croc is a massive shoe. Those hands, they don't look like a teenager's. Might be something else, someone else.
Let's just say she got caught and like the truth always comes out and you can catch a little bit of her tattoo in her hand. Now you tell me what 16-year-old who mom's very abusive and doesn't let her go out is gonna go get a tattoo. I slowed down the video and you can see the tattoo
Some people are speculating, saying that Alyssa seems to be putting an active effort to come across as a teenager. Okay, just take a look at her bio. Lana Del Rey, the texts, the typo. The question becomes, what is going on here? Is Alyssa actually the one filming? Is there someone else behind the cameras as she narrates? Well, Vivian thinks that could explain a few things, like the strange upload pattern. Alyssa gives us comments like, I'll film this for you tomorrow, after tomorrow. Every 4 to 5 days, almost as though whoever's filming this is working shifts. A theory could be Chris Perez. Maybe he's filming on the job and Alyssa's doing the voiceovers, perhaps. But none of this proves anything. All right, but it does make you stop and wonder, what's going on here? Who are we watching? But just when you thought it can't get any stranger, a new account pops up, Mia. Her video's nearly identical to Alyssa's, but Vivian spoke to Mia. She's been texting her. She let her know about Alyssa, the girl who we had been talking about with the videos, the one who made $45,000 out of the kindness of people's hearts. Mia says, those are her videos. Stolen. Robbed.
Mia, the one you're talking to, somebody you managed to check their GoFundMe, does it lead to the same person? Is it a different account?
Mia's is a different GoFundMe, and it's named under somebody else. Elaine Sparks.
And to nobody's surprise, Mia's also funneling funds into Cash App and GoFundMe.
So we know Mia accused Alyssa of stealing her videos. So somebody asked Alyssa of her connection with Mia. They noticed that she followed all 3 of her accounts. She has no idea who this person is and that they were being accused, both of them, of stealing one another's videos. In the end, she just decided to block her.
Then there's Lewis. Who's Lewis? Well, if you Google reverse search those kitchens that are now popping up everywhere, you find Lewis. Also funneling funds to his GoFundMe and Cash App. Whatever it is that's going on here, it does take the story from shocking to suspicious. Somebody, if not everybody here, is lying.
Now, on Mia, initially I had a call planned out with her and her legal guardian. Remember that Mia is a minor. That's a big part of her story. So to be able to bring her on the channel and to actually help her using the channel, I would need something called a media release form, which is basically a document signed by her legal guardian that gives us their consent. Signing the document, though, does not suffice. I would also need the legal guardian to be physically present. I would need to meet them at the very least in order to make sure that they are aware of what is going on. If that were the case, there would be no issues and we're good to go. Parks is in the call right now and her GoFundMe goes to Elaine Sparks. So far, she shares the same last name. Seems legit.
First of all, Mia, thank you so much for joining us on the channel. I've seen some clips of your house. This is not a kind of living situation, you know, I would want to see anybody living in.
Really, the whole point here was I donate, yeah. I want to help on a bigger scale, you know? Because I felt like that's something we can do. But right now, the way everything's been developing, I feel like I can't help on a bigger scale and get you involved with a clear conscience if I'm not really sure where that money's gonna be going. On my initial call with Mia, I stressed the importance of her legal guardian getting involved. It was important that they were there.
In order for me to help you best, in order for me to be able to also broadcast the interview, I'm going to need to send you a media release consent form because you are a minor. We're gonna need to bring your dad into this at one point. Okay, now I know you said he doesn't know yet. I do think it's important that you bring it up to him. I'm sure he'll be understanding. I saw that your GoFundMe, you were talking about how you want to lift some of the heavy weight off his shoulders, and that's a very, honorable thing for you to do. And I respect that so much. But part of the heavy lifting that we can do together is through his cooperation as well, you know?
In the call, she quietly and quickly showed me parts of the house that you see in her TikToks. She didn't show her face, which was fine.
All right, welcome back. Oops. All right. Oh, is that your pet?
She stealthily showed me that part of the house. She'd leave the call and come back in.
Full name? Mia's left the meeting.
Suddenly leave and come back in.
Date of birth. Mia's left the meeting again.
Honestly, the vibe it gave me was that everything was just really hush-hush. All right, for one reason or another. I don't know. Keep everything nice and quiet. Don't be found out. That's just the general air of it. It felt a little bit off. When the big help comes in, which is you guys, everything should not be hush-hush. We would need to know more. So after a conversation with her about her dad, it became clear that the best way forward is to involve him in here, include him in this plan, for him to show up. Not for the video. You don't have to meet him. It's not for you to see necessarily, because at the end of the day, it's, you know, if they want to, it's their privacy, it's their thing. But for me to turn my 99% to 100, you know, I don't want a 1% doubt. I want a clear conscience about getting you involved into this. And so I needed to meet him. I needed to speak to him. This was for me to verify, honestly. It was for me to be able to bring this cause to you in good conscience. For him, the legal guardian, to be present, to accept the help for his family. She emailed me saying that they had spoken and that he did accept, but he does not want me to meet him or to see him or to even hear his voice. He wants everything to remain hush-hush, basically. He just didn't want to show up. To be honest, it made me uncomfortable. So this is where we're at right now. Okay, GoFundMe and I were going back and forth with emails where they would assure us that they conduct vigorous verification to ensure that your money's going to the right places. They refused to speak further on the matter and join us on the channel though. And I must say that there has been history of GoFundMe pages where your money does not go to the right places, although they do guarantee your money back, basically. There's something somewhere in their terms and conditions where they do. I don't want to be involved or be a reason why someone who might actually need help ends up not getting it. You know, that's the last thing I would want. So I left it all. I took a few steps back and decided the best course of action was to wait, to let the truth, I guess, reveal itself. Lo and behold, 2 weeks go by, and now I find out that GoFundMe has deleted all of their pages. All of them. That one guy that was clearly a scammer because he was stealing Alyssa's videos. Alyssa's page is gone. She did up her goal though, just before it was gone, which I find extremely weird. Come on, Alyssa. And Mia's page is gone, which I'm so conflicted about. I'm just so conflicted. I don't know. I feel I have never been more confused. I don't know. To be honest, I am upset. And I don't know that money I donated is supposed to be coming back now because they canceled those GoFundMes. And I guess the whole idea of getting you guys involved now is also canceled because, well, if they couldn't verify and I couldn't verify, what could that mean? You know, I'm just a little bit, I don't know, lost for words. I have no words. Am I giving too much of a benefit of the doubt? Because a lot of people were suspicious. Were their GoFundMes removed because a lot of people wrongfully perhaps reported their pages rather than an actual verification from within GoFundMe just flagged something wrong? Were these suspicious people reporting a page that might have been truthful? And are Alyssa and co, all her replicas, honest people who are just trying to save face, who are perhaps ashamed of their living situation and choose to be as discreet as they possibly could? And that face saving has sort of bitten them back, has caused people to see red flags in their discretion. Perhaps, or are they just trying to take your money? I don't know. I really don't know at this point. I have no idea. Honestly, listen, if you want people to help you, allow yourself to be helped. Allow for people to be helpful to you. All right, bye guys.